the new lawsuit coming with Jay, the part with Jay. I go, oh shoot, like
to us, black excellence,
that had to be there.
We getting tighter, you know what I'm saying? And united we stand, and ain't nothing.
The hip-hop landscape has been hit with yet another seismic shock. And this time, the aftershocks are shaking the very foundation of music royalty. 50 Cent has once again turned the industry on its head. And this time, he's not just throwing shots. He's dropping bombshells. The target? Jay-Z.
Look, when Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. Mm-hmm. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those fucking trophies, trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, listen, if you look at his career,
This guy. Wow. You're gonna let him say that?
Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
And he ain't show up.
No, he has like 20 now.
Hold on.
He had like 18 since he been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
Hold on. You're not wrong. At the same time.
After that, he got them shits. He's like drinking. His pictures with him like fucking thinks the cup.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
I've absolutely been treated differently.
The accolades.
Because he's no longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
Right? You were connected to the biggest.
Jay got it for the music. Jay got it for the music.
No, you didn't sing.
He deserved those.
I'm sitting there, it's like this, like Black excellence. They're sitting there like, yeah. It's the billionaire brunch. You're like,
I hate you, man.
unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you niggas this year. Yeah. Come on, bro.
That's crazy. That's crazy. He just looking at his watch during the whole Rock Nation, bro. Like, is it 3:30?
Yeah, it's almost time to get out. What the fuck is that? Yo, I feel like I'm normal again. Get me out of here.
Oh wow! So that's the deal he signed, huh?
Yeah, that's the deal. Like, the other ones didn't count as much as that one did.
Oh, yeah, before I forget this, we talked about Jay. Proximity to Diddy. You don't think he knew anything? He's seemingly around Diddy.
I don't know. That was a real suburb question.
I know, right?
Proximity.
And the proximity.
Proximity. That's the SAT hit parade word. I had to learn that.
Jim, do you think he fucking knew all of the shit that was going on? Then I was like
I don't want to incriminate myself.
I know, but the way he said it,
Like I said,
no matter how you answer that shit, you snitching.
exactly.
That was a narc kind of
You asked the question like a fan.
Hey, I grew up with white people, but one thing I know is how to get a black guy in trouble.
But it's a great question.
Yo, just give him the Happy Meal before you ask him to snitch, bro.
He said, damn, they wasn't even drinking.
Speaking of, how the hell you pronounce
Leshimendua.
Okay.
It's the King's Path.
King's Path.
Because I know Branson.
Yeah.
That's the one I pronounce.
Branson. That's the Branson lifestyle. You're going to be outside.
Biff, you're not worried that if you throw little and you don't throw out allegations, but like you kind of poke fun at them.
You just ask questions.
You're not worried that it comes back your way?
The man who's long stood as the symbol of hip-hop's elite, the billionaire mogul, the cultural icon, the one fans and artists alike have called the GOAT. But 50 Cent? He just pulled back the curtain and claims that what's behind the throne isn't royalty. It's rot. Let's get into it. It all started on a random Tuesday. No warning, no teaser, no build-up. Just a sudden upload to 50 Cent's Instagram. A video clip, grainy and distorted, with the title card, The Truth About Sean Carter. Fans were stunned. The clip featured never-before-seen footage from backstage meetings in the early 2000s. It included audio clips, snippets of business discussions, and cryptic images of documents redacted but labeled Rockefeller Holdings. Then came 50's voiceover, calm, slow, and deliberate. Everybody sees the success, but nobody asks what it cost. Not money, silence, loyalty, and fear. From that moment on, fans knew this wasn't just beef.
Hey, bro, and I realized that later, but I'm just saying to you, I haven't seen him in a long time. That's all I said. When I hadn't seen him in a long time, and then I heard this shit, and then I looked and I saw Mufasa, I said, whoa. That's all that fucking happened, bro. You think this is at my phone? This is my phone. This is happening at real time. I'm going, yo. He said, yo.
You just gotta say everyone gets these jokes, bro. That's what you gotta say.
Yeah, no,
rappers, listen, comedians are the new rappers, bro. That's
why
the
do
thing.
people come to my page, bro?
That's true.
I know what I'm saying.
You know what they say?
That is true.
Well, you don't think you're gonna happen next? Yeah, that's what they said to me, buddy. Well, you're next, buddy. You're fucking, you're laughing at this.
Then you're not worried at all.
Why?
Because you don't got nothing.
I don't have it.
All right.
There's no girls gonna come out.
Why you sound skeptical?
Because I think there are some women
Damn,
that are
Al.
like, no,
Yeah,
I
what's
think
up with
there's
this
some
guy?
women that are like,
This guy's supposed to be from Queens, bro.
let me cook.
Fucked up experience.
You kick him off the corner one time.
No, what I'm saying is I know a couple of exes that fucking throw me under the bus.
You should let him have the corner. None of this would have happened if you let him have the corner. Would have been fine.
You know, there's some like opportunists that
no,
they'll just throw out the fucking.
But that's what I'm saying. So you had to have something. Look, if you already interacted with the person, right, and you hadn't had a bad experience, it would take more for them to say some of the shit that you see these people say. Right? Like, you go, what made you do? What made you, even when we part ways, and because a lot of times when we interact with people, they're not just having fun for tonight. They think we're bleeding into this hardcore relationship that may not materialize. Right? So I see what you're saying, where they can look and go, well, look, you met the girl in 2003. You hung out with her. You had a good time after the show with 30 girls there. You just went and y'all hung out, right? And y'all just part ways. Right? So there's no negative things between it. But she can look up at the TV now, and you've been a success since then. Feel like that's my life. I was supposed to be there. And be upset with you and say something. But will it have any merit to it?
If I gotta keep
that
it real,
woman hasn't been
you ain't always have the most amicable breakups. Do you remember where, I think it's your baby moms, where it's like she was kind of speaking out, and then all of a sudden the house just got burnt down.
Yeah, but you know, it happens. Left eye. She burned the house down.
This nigga is crazy.
No, my God, he goes, wow. So I know how you feel about me now. No. He's going. He's great. So he saw me like the man.
I want my block back.
He goes, look, I have faith in our justice system.
I'm a
I
civilian
believe
now.
there will be consequences connected to those behaviors and actions that this brother is talking about.
Oh my goodness, man.
Why is that a part of his thought process today while we're here having a good time?
That's a good ass point.
Look, you do have people that really, look, when you break up with them, they don't care about you anymore.
Yeah.
So they'll say things and you go, yeah, but it doesn't hold merit.
This was something far bigger. The video went viral instantly. Within hours, it had 10 million views, and the hashtag number JZExposed began trending worldwide. In the following 24 hours, 50 Cent released what he called Part 1, Foundations. This 30-minute expose dug deep into Jay-Z's early rise, but not the narrative we've all heard. According to 50, the origin story of Jay-Z's climb from Marcy Projects to Madison Square Garden has been carefully sanitized. The expose claimed that Jay-Z's first major funding came from unnamed sources in the criminal underworld. Individuals 50 alleged are now either dead or in federal prison. The implication? Jay-Z's rise wasn't just hustler ambition, it was assisted. But 50 didn't stop there. He produced what he said were scanned copies of handwritten contracts, showing early partnerships between Rockefeller and now-defunct shell companies. He claims those companies were used to funnel illegal money into early album production, artist signings, and promotions. One document had Jay-Z's initials scrawled in pen next to a payment schedule labeled Silent Investors.
After Rodney Lil Jones Jr. filed his federal lawsuit against Diddy earlier this year, in which he referenced Diddy's infamous parties as seemingly the scene of a number of the allegations he now faces, including sex trafficking, forced drugging, and compromising footage of celebrities that have been held as blackmail. Stevie J seemingly responded with a post to Instagram with the caption, "This is what a real Diddy party looks like." The video showed a number of famous faces, including Jay-Z and Beyonce, Kim Kardashian, her then-husband Kanye West, Naomi Campbell, and several others who were all together to celebrate Diddy's 50th birthday in 2019. Fast forward to 2024, 50 was asked why there have been so many silent voices when it comes to celebs speaking out about Diddy, as if they're afraid to speak up. 50 replied in part, "Some of them were involved at the parties and enjoyed themselves, so they don't know what the F is on the tape or what's not on the tape. So they're not going to say anything because they might have had too much fun." And then you've got other people who look at it and go, "Well, that's not my business and I don't want to be in it." Then you got a part of our culture that says that's snitching or dry snitching. It's uncomfortable for me to say what I said because I've been saying this stuff for 4 or 5 years. Everybody else is not going to be as comfortable as I'm saying it. 50 Cent then alleged there's one famous friend that is aware of Diddy's alleged disturbing behavior. R&B legend Mary J. Blige, who got her start at Diddy's Bad Boy Records, has been a longtime friend of the embattled rapper and producer. But she reportedly has a great relationship with 50 Cent as well. When asked if Mary J. Blige reached out to 50, he responded, no. You know what? Mary never reached out to tell me not to F up Puffy because she knows he does that stuff. As Diddy and 50 Cent have long been in the rap game, they share another commonality, and that's 50 Cent's ex-girlfriend and the mother of his youngest son, Daphne Joy Navarez. The actress and OnlyFans model was named in Rodney Jones' suit against Diddy, as she was referenced to as an alleged sex worker of Diddy's that also gets paid a monthly stipend. She has denied those allegations in a post made to social media, writing, "I am deeply hurt by the lies in Rodney Jones' lawsuit. The claim that I'm a sex worker is 100% false and character assassination. I am retaining an attorney to explore all legal remedies against both Rodney and his attorney." 50 Cent seemingly poked fun at the allegation of the mother of his son being an alleged sex worker. In a post made to his social media page, 50 wrote a caption, "I didn't know you was a sex worker, you little sex worker, LOL." But this would prompt Daphne Joy to respond to her ex again on social media, but this time would accuse 50 directly of rape and being abusive during their relationship. She would write in part, "Everything is a joke to you until our safety is compromised, which is happening now. You are wreaking real havoc, frenzy, and chaos onto people's lives. How would you feel if Sire was the one in handcuffs for nothing? Let's put the real focus on your true evil actions of raping me and physically abusing me. You are no longer my oppressor, and my God will handle you from this point on. You have permanently damaged the last hope I had for you as a father to preserve our family with these last and final false claims made against me. You have broken our hearts for the last and final time." Those allegations against 50 Cent would prompt him to fire back against his ex Daphne Joy and sue her for defamation.
Fans were divided, some saying it was too vague, too old, and likely faked. But others saw a pattern forming, and they were listening. Then came the biggest twist. In part 2, titled The Broken Circle, 50 dove into what he called the sacrifices made for success. He presented anonymous testimony from a former Rockefeller executive who claimed that several artists under the label were pressured into contracts that stripped them of royalties and rights, contracts allegedly signed under duress. One quote stood out. "People think it was all champagne and platinum. It wasn't. Some of us left with nothing. He knew. He planned it." 50 claimed that Jay-Z leveraged loyalty and fear, making artists choose between exposure or exile. And then, perhaps the most chilling moment, a slide titled Silenced. It showed the names of 5 former Rockefeller affiliates, not all of them famous, who either disappeared from the industry or were involved in mysterious legal trouble. 50 Cent's message was clear. There's a reason some voices never got heard. The fallout was immediate. Blogs lit up. YouTubers started releasing breakdowns, timelines, and decoding messages. Some even analyzed Jay-Z's lyrics, claiming he'd been confessing in plain sight for years. And the public? Speechless. Even those who had long defended Jay-Z were now unsure. Could all of this really be true? Is this why so many old rock artists disappeared? Why is Jay-Z silent?
In his suit, 50 Cent said those allegations were unequivocally false and would claim she made the shocking allegations in retaliation after he moved to take sole custody of their son. Since that suit, Daphne has deleted her Instagram post accusing 50 of rape and physical abuse. 50 Cent was asked by The Hollywood Reporter the latest in the defamation suit. The rapper and television producer said he tiptoes around the Daphne stuff and explained why. He said, "I got a family court case. The allegations that came out, she posted things to her page saying some crazy stuff. But this comes 8 hours after I filed for custody for my son. And she put that up in response to that, and I'm like, ugh. In this climate, you know how quickly they pass judgment. Things have worked out since she said those things." He went on to add, "I'd like to respond and say some wild stuff, but I've got to sustain that for my son." 50 was asked if he was worried about the allegations, especially given he's making a docuseries about an alleged abuser. And 50 replied, "It is damaging. It is damaging just to have anything said about you at this point, because you have people out there who don't believe your intentions. And if things are going in a positive direction for you and something pops, they gasp." He went on to say for entertainment purposes, they exploit that as much as possible, but there's no merit to it. But one thing 50 wasn't asked was if he believed Diddy would be formally charged and or potentially indicted for the many allegations he still faces. But attorney Ben Chu, who represented Johnny Depp during his trial against Amber Heard, says he does see an indictment coming down in Diddy's future.
I agree with that. I mean, obviously, I don't have any inside information. I don't think many people do, but I do think the signs are ominous. These are very grave matters. As you know, there have been 2 raids on his properties, and that's obviously very ominous signs for him. Although, interestingly, we haven't seen the indictments yet. There's been some time lag. I suppose it will take some time to go through all the forensic, evidence, but still, these are very serious matters. So, I think he faces some serious reckoning.
Diddy faces a staggering number of civil lawsuits for sexual misconduct, 10 that have been filed since last November. Former adult film star Adria English filed her suit on July 3rd of this year, claiming she was first employed by Combs in 2004 and was groomed into sex trafficking over time. In May of this year, April Lampros filed her lawsuit against Combs, accusing him of battery and sexual assault. 2 days prior to Lampros' suit being filed, Crystal McKinney also filed a suit against Diddy. McKinney alleges she met Combs at a studio where he gave her a lace joint, alcohol, then forced her to the bathroom and forced her to perform oral sex on him. Rodney Jones Jr. filed his lawsuit in federal court in February of this year that accuses Combs and the people who work with him of being part of an illegal racketeering enterprise. He also accused Diddy of sex trafficking, sexual assault, and harassment. Then there's a suit filed by a woman under the moniker Jane Doe, which was filed in December of 2023. Doe alleges she was gang raped and sex trafficked by Combs and former Bad Boy Records president Harve Pierre when she was just 17 years old and in the 11th grade. Liza Gardner filed her lawsuit against Combs and R&B singer Aaron Hall in November of 2020.
The silence from Jay-Z's camp only added fuel to the fire. Not a statement. Not a denial. Nothing. Meanwhile, 50 Cent announced Part 3 was coming, titled Empire of Shadows. The teaser? A slow pan across a wall covered in connected red string with photos of celebrities, bankers, and media executives. Then 50's voice. When the crown is built on secrets, what happens when you lift it? Industry insiders say Jay-Z's team is working overtime behind the scenes. Damage control, legal teams, PR warfare. But it might be too late. Because the narrative, it's already out. And fans, they've already started digging. As one tweet read, 50 didn't just throw shots. He lit the whole empire on fire. The hip-hop community is now watching closely, waiting. Will Jay-Z respond? Will others step forward? Is this the beginning of the fall of an icon? Or the greatest trick 50's ever pulled? Stay tuned, because this isn't just beef. This is war. And 50 Cent? He's not playing anymore. Part 3 dropped 2 days later. It opened with footage from an unreleased 2002 documentary about the rise of Rockefeller. The footage had been shelved for years, and 50 claimed it was because what it captured behind the scenes was too real to air. The video showed a young Jay-Z in a tense argument with a business partner, accusing him of talking too much and putting everything at risk. The context was unclear, but 50 paused the footage and said, this was about a deal they didn't want anyone to know about. Then came a screen full of offshore account numbers, international wire transfer logs, and property acquisitions through shell companies in the Bahamas, Panama, and even the Seychelles. 50 called it the Carter Network. He claimed it was an elaborate financial ecosystem built to hide, protect, and wash money that came from everything but music. He didn't call it money laundering, but he didn't have to. Fans knew what he was implying. Then came the witness, an anonymous man, voice distorted, face blurred, who said he worked in private security for one of Jay-Z's early business ventures. He claimed he saw hush money payouts firsthand, cash given to keep stories from going public, affairs, business betrayals, even threats. "You didn't cross him," the man said. "You just didn't. People disappeared. They didn't die. They just stopped talking." The final segment of Part 3 was simply titled, "The List." It showed a scroll of names, over 50, many of them faded celebrities, former collaborators, producers, writers, and insiders who once worked with Jay-Z and vanished from the spotlight. 50's message? This isn't a coincidence, it's a pattern. Reactions poured in. Some were in disbelief, calling it the most elaborate takedown attempt in hip-hop history. Others said it was long overdue, that someone with Jay-Z's reach and power needed to be held accountable. And then 50 teased. Part 4. The title? The Throne in Flames. He promised it would expose the political, corporate, and media connections Jay-Z has allegedly used to protect his empire. Sponsors are reportedly pulling out of upcoming projects. Executives from major streaming platforms are holding emergency calls. And Jay-Z? Still silent. But Beyoncé posted a cryptic message on her Instagram story. A single photo of a chessboard with one piece tipped over. Fans are losing their minds. Was it a warning? A signal? A sign of internal conflict? No one knows. But everyone's watching. 50 Cent, once dismissed as just a loud, brash provocateur, has now positioned himself as hip-hop's self-appointed truth-teller. And while some question his motives, no one can deny his impact. This isn't just rap beef. It's an industry reckoning. The final slide in Part 3 read, "Legacy is a story. I'm just making sure we tell all the chapters. The throne is shaking. The empire is cracking. And the fans, they're watching every second. Because once the truth starts coming out, there's no putting it back in the vault.